Hi everyone, I'm Christian with Artful Candle and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about supplies. A lot of people, when they find out that I've started my own candle business, they come up to me and they ask me, well, where do you get the supplies from? Or they come up to me and they're interested in starting their own candle business, or they want to make candles as a hobby and they ask me, where can I get some supplies from? The short answer is that Artful Glow, we get supplies from all over the place. Let me dive in a little more and let you guys know some of the places Artful Glow gets supplies from now, some of the places we've gone to in the past, why we've changed a little bit, and just some pointers about the various companies out there. Also, let me say that this is not a sponsored video, and I am in no way affiliated with any of the companies I'm about to mention. But hopefully, you can use this info, just how, if you're starting and to help you out. The big one, the big heavy hitters out there. The first one I'll mention is Candle Science. And a lot of people, including myself, Candle Science was the first supplier that I really got involved with. They have a great website. They have lots of products. They have lots of candle vessels, meaning, the candle containers. They have several different types of waxes on there, multiple types of wicks of all sizes and types, a lot of great videos, a lot of great content on the Candle Science site. So Candle Science is a one that we started with, and that's one that a lot of people get started with. On the downside with Candle Science, I'll say that you might find that some of their products are less unique just because everyone gets started out using them. They have some great fragrance oils. They have just a plethora of fragrance oils to choose from. And you'll just start to see after a while a lot of their fragrances out there, already being sold. So that's some of the great positives about Candle Science, and in my opinion, one of the negatives about Candle Science. The next big company that I'm going to mention that's out there is Makesy. Like Candle Science, they have a great site. It may actually even be a better site than Candle Science. Makesy has they have some very unique products that you can only find on Makesy, and they are extremely high quality. I've never encountered a Makesy product that I didn't think was ultra high end. The downside about Makesy for me is that they are more expensive. I do get some things from Makesy. I'm very fortunate to live in Costa Mesa, which is the town right next to where Makesy's at, so I can just swing on there and pick up their products. I don't have to pay for the shipping, which helps a lot. But Makesy is definitely more expensive than the other suppliers out there. On the positive note, the quality is excellent. Or like I said, those are two of the bigger ones. Now I'm just going to talk about some of the smaller companies that I know of or that I've used in the past or still use now. And those are the Flaming Candle, Pro Candle Supply, Lone Star Candle, California Candle, Hive, and Honey. Those are just some of the many, many candle supply companies out there. We have source supplies from all of them. These companies are smaller than Candle Science and Makesy, but they're definitely also well known in the candle making world. Some of the pros about using these companies are that the products are a little more unique. So you might be looking for something very specific, and only one of them offers anything like that. So yeah, then you go to one of these smaller companies. You might find some great deals with them too, just different things. We use one of those companies for our wax. It's the only place that I know of to get our wax from, or part of our wax. We actually do our own unique blend, but so we use one of them for our wax. We use one of those companies for our wicks. That's something that you guys should definitely look out for if you're marketing vegan candles. Be aware that a lot of the different wick types are dipped in different things to act as the accelerator. We found that some wicks are dipped in paraffin, some wicks are dipped in vegetable wax, some wicks can be dipped in beeswax. So if you're doing an organic candle, you're not going to want a wax, a paraffin dipped candle wick. So we use Hive and Honey for our wicks, and just different companies for different things. On the downside with those smaller suppliers, their websites might take a little more patience. They might not have the prettiest websites, like what Candle Science and Makesy has. Also, the quality, you might have to experiment with different things. You might have to really research things about these companies before buying a specific item from them, a specific fragrance oil from them. Not to say that they don't have some super high quality items there, or that all their items are not quality. But the difference is that when you're going to Makesy or you're going to Candle Science and you're buying something, there's going to be a lot of information about that product online, because a lot of different people are going to have used it and sampled it and bought it before. So, like for instance, there's a fragrance oil in Candle Science that you're interested in. You're going to read, there's going to be 15, 20 reviews about the fragrance oil. There's a jar, vessel that you're interested from Candle Science. There's going to be, a bunch of reviews about how good or bad that vessel is. Just keep that in mind when you're utilizing a smaller supplier. Big thing for me is when you're making candles as a business versus as a hobby. When I was making candles as a hobby, I didn't think so much about how much the candle vessel costs. For instance, it just immediately comes to mind, there was making it as a hobby, there was a candle vessel that I just loved using. It was a smaller vessel. It only held about 5 ounces of candle wax in it. Beautiful vessel. It's very unique design. Um, Great to make, as a hobby. Not so good to make it as a business, because like $5 for one vessel. Then you start thinking about it as a business and the price point and everything. It just doesn't make sense to sell something that expensive for me as a business. Also, the size of it was smaller. The area to apply the label didn't work. Take those things into account also, as a business. And that leads me to the next suppliers would be local suppliers. So we live in Southern California. We're very lucky to have a lot of candle supply companies around here. I just started Googling candle supply companies, and I came up with some, that I had never even heard of before. And now I would say we get the bulk of our candle making supplies from local companies. It saves money, tremendous amounts of money on shipping costs. Shipping costs, if you're a business, at least for me, like it's kind of like a silent killer, I almost want to say, because I don't initially think of when I'm ordering 100 jars online, I'm thinking about the cost per jar when I'm, creating my price points. And I'm not so much thinking about the shipping, factoring the shipping in there. And when you're sending stuff like jars or wax, things that are heavier in particular, shipping costs can be $20 to $100 or even more. It can be, which really can take a hit on your business. Running a business and already dealing with shipping to the customers and the cost that's associated with that, which eats into your profit. The last thing I want to do is spend money unnecessarily on shipping items to me. Big thing, again, is looking for local suppliers. I can't tell you who your local suppliers are, but definitely, get on Google or whatever search engine you have and just start researching who you can buy from locally. I'll drive up to 3-4 hours in a day to source something locally and not pay for shipping. Another supplier option that we use and to be on the lookout for is foreign suppliers. So people outside of the U.S. I have found, in particular, unique fragrance oils that I don't see in any other handmade candles in the U.S. market from foreign suppliers. So I will order when I see something that I really want. The shipping costs is increased because it's international shipping, but fragrance is one of the most essential components of my candles, and so I'm willing to spend more on the fragrances just to get something unique to my shop. You may also find unique vessels from foreign suppliers. I'm not sure it makes as much sense to import vessels just because of the shipping costs associated with something that heavy. But if you're doing it as a hobby and you see something out there that you really love, I mean, it absolutely makes sense to to do that. And finally, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is bulk suppliers who will only sell to companies. So you will have to have already have a business license and your tax ID set. And also bulk suppliers, they usually sell, well, only in bulk. The great thing about bulk suppliers is that when you order from them, when you order in bulk, in particular to these companies that will only deal with other companies, you're probably going to be paying the same or less, per unit that you would be paying buying it from one of these other companies. Also, because you're dealing with a bulk supplier who will only sell to another company, um, you might also find that some of their products are more unique to the market. You may not see their fragrances, you may not see their vessels out on the market as much, just because people don't have the upfront capital to make that initial investment. And I'm not talking about thousands of dollars, depending on what you're getting from them. If it's fragrance, you might have, a $300 initial investment versus what you could get from Candle Science. You could probably start making candles for business purposes from Candle Science fragrances for as little as $20 or $30. But if you go to a bulk supplier, you might need to buy 10 gallons of fragrance for $300. But when you do the math, of it, the price per ounce is actually better buying from the bulk supplier than Candle Science. Now, downside of that is that if you're a newer company, you may not want to get 10 pounds of fragrance and be locked into a fragrance or be selling as many candles as is needed to really support buying in bulk. But it's just an option out there that can, give you access to more unique supplies, and also could be cheaper because you're buying in bulk. But that's all I have for you today. If you found this video useful, please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please do me a huge favor and follow us on Instagram at artful. And until next time, guys, I'll see you then. Bye bye.